they don't feel their pain in the same way that they would feel the pain of a middle-class non-binary person whose pronouns have been denied them. Do you
Oh my
see what I'm
God.
saying? That
Yeah.
person's pain hits them right here, like, oh, I get that.
I
I
get your
just get
point.
to
Yeah.
well, no, my point I wanted to end on was that last night, like, I watched this expose on STV about the homelessness crisis, and they interviewed a bunch of women who had been stuck in temporary accommodation. So they interviewed one woman who'd been stuck with her children for 18 months
Mm-hmm.
and who's saying, like, this is a hellish nightmare. Another woman who's saying that her daughter's like personality is completely changed after all this time she spent in the hotels. Another woman saying that she considered leaving the hotel accommodation because it was so awful and going back to her husband that had been beating her up. And after they showed all these interviews, they had a mini interview with the woman who runs Women's Aid in Scotland. But that she was following this up from 3 interviews
Mm-hmm.
from women who were in this temporary accommodation,
Mm-hmm.
and she didn't mention the situation in temporary accommodation
Mm-hmm.
because she's in that bubble. She's
Yeah.
in. She goes, yes, talks kind of vaguely about poverty. Poverty is a big. You could tell that she was an SNP supporter from what she chose to talk about. Poverty, i.e., it's Westminster's fault for cutting the capital spend. It's
Mm-hmm.
Westminster's fault for cutting the spending budget. And what does she choose to talk about after watching those interviews?